Everybody, don't know if everyone can hear me. Hello. Hello everybody, hope everyone can hear me. Just quickly, I am Sarah. Sorry, I'm going to have to shut that. Sorry, I can see myself. It's very disconcerting. Hi, I'm Sarah. I have lost over £250 altogether. Most of you know that. I've got some questions already. But if you want to ask me anything, please feel free to ask me whatever you like. But I do have an awful lot of questions. I'm going to aim for about an hour-ish. Because I can waffle on and I can get really sidetracked. So, I'm going to have to cover myself up. Sorry, I've got my back there and I've got to cover it up. I'll just start on some of the questions. I have had quite a few. Some of them are very similar, but asked in slightly different way. So I'll start off with the first one, which was, have I tried to lose weight seriously before? I tried a good few years ago now. So I started this weight loss journey. No, I haven't got any snacks. Actually, I'm lying. I've got a load there. I really am lying. That's my snack pile over there. Not a problem. Thank you for joining me. So have I tried to seriously lose weight before? I have tried to seriously lose weight before. Hello, Wendy. I've been on this journey for 6 years, nearly 6 years now. So it took me 3 years to get to goal, and I have been at goal for nearly 3 years as well. So I tried losing weight probably about 15 years ago, 14, 15 years ago. I got down to about a size 18 before, and then it all just went back on, and a lot more. So at my heaviest previously, I was around 28 stone. Now I'm around, when I got to my heaviest, I was about 31 stone. So I did lose quite a bit, significant amount before. So I got into a load of 18 clothes, had like 18, 20 clothes in my wardrobe that I kept. And I then put it all back on, like I said. So I have tried before. When I started this time, so the next question is, so when I started this time, did you know straight away that you would do it? Or did I have doubts along the way? When I started this time, it was very different. It was when I first started this time, it was, my friend kept saying to me, do you want to start Slimming World? Should we start Slimming World? She had about 2-3 stone to lose, and I was going, right, I will. No. Yeah, all right, then we'll start it. Because she kept going on and on and on and on at me. Yeah, okay, I'll do Slimming World. Not going to class, literally just someone to talk to about it, rather than going to class together. So I started with Slimming World, and I just got the books, did it at home. And I thought, right, I'll start today. So I turned around to my partner the day before I was due to start. So I started on the 23rd of April 2015, which was a Thursday. So I turned around to him the day before and said, I'm going to, not a problem, thank you. I said, right, what I'll do is I will, I'm starting Slimming World. And he just went, we really need to have a talk. You started diets and you started stuff before, and that's fine. You can do. I am 42 this year. He said you can start your weight loss journey, and that's absolutely fine, but we need to have a quick chat first. You can't blame me for you eating, which is, I blamed other things for me going off plan before. So when I've started a diet before, it's always been somebody else's fault that I chose to eat something. So if I went into work and there were cakes on the side and I ate them, that was, yeah, I do waffle a lot. I always was like, well, it's someone else, they brought them in, so I've got to eat them. If someone said, oh, should we get something from the cafe, or should we get something from McDonald's from work? I was like, yeah, that's all right. Yeah, I'll have that. No, my partner's not. He's a tad at the moment, but that's lockdown for you. So my partner's not overweight at the moment, a little tiny bit at the moment, but no, he's never had a real weight loss problem, weight problem. It's just me. So I just went, right, okay, there was always a reason why I ate, and it was always somebody else's or something else's fault. So if I had a bad day and I ate, it would be that person's fault that had upset me, that made me eat. If my partner suggested a takeaway, it was his fault because he suggested the takeaway, or the person at work's fault because they suggested it. It was never my fault. And it was only when he sat me down and went, do you know what, if you eat, that's on you. You've chosen to do it, so you need to take responsibility. I've been on my weight loss journey for 6 years, so it took me 3 years to get to goal, and I've been sort of maintaining within a maintenance range for about nearly 3 years. It'll be 3 years in April. So basically, that's what did it for me. It was like I had to take a step back, and it was a bit of a light bulb moment when I went, do you know what, actually it is my responsibility. It's totally my responsibility that I choose to eat, and what I choose to eat is totally my responsibility. So after that, I'd already cleared the house out. Weirdly, I'd eaten everything. You know when you eat everything before you start? Weirdly, I'd literally got rid of everything. So it was like, well, I'm not gonna get more food in. Normally it'd start creeping in, and I didn't. I literally stuck to Slimming World. I went to get weighed because my scales didn't go that high, so I had to go and get weighed. Got the new books because I had the old ones, so they just slightly tweaked the plan a little bit. So I went and got the new books. They'd gone to extra easy. Okay, AXA is my gaming name. So if you play any games and you see that, that's me. I am 5'9". So yeah, that time I just literally got my head down, and because I'd cleaned everything out, that was sort of my light bulb moment. And at that point I thought, do you know what, I'm actually not going to eat any crisps. I'm not going to eat any cake. I made a conscious decision that day that it was going to be my responsibility, and I wanted to be in control, and this time it was going to work. So literally I cut everything out, and I did that for 8 months. I don't have children, so I haven't got that problem. My partner still had sweets and stuff. My partner still has sweets and crisps, but I'm really lucky in the fact that he likes stuff that I don't. Did play Pokemon Go, deleted it about 2 weeks ago because it really annoyed me. I get really annoyed with Pokemon Go every so often because it never gives me what I want, so I just delete it. The NHS will not help me with my skin. I have, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked from the questions. I went to my GP to ask for a consultation, and my GP wrote to the consultant, who wrote back to him and told him that he would not see me because it was cosmetic. My GP then wrote back to him and put, actually she's got sore skin, she's got and it is affecting her mental health to some extent. And he still wrote, and he didn't even bother replying to that letter, didn't even bother replying. But saying that, exactly, do I want weight loss or don't? I've stood in shops, even though I haven't got children and stuff, I have stood in shops and gone, do you know what, and stared at sweets and crisps for about 5-10 minutes. It's like I'm transfixed, and then I just have to snap out of it and go, no, I'm not going to do it. And I did speak about it the other day, I also get a rush of adrenaline. Sometimes when I see certain things, I get a rush of adrenaline. It's not all the time, but it's only when I see certain things, and it's weird things. Like I went into Costco once and they had these like pretzels with peanut butter in, and I could feel my heartbeat going through the roof, and it was actually quite scary to how much my heart rate raised when I saw that. It was quite scary. So I do still get that, but I've lost my train of thought. Sweets and stuff, yeah. So I just definitely go, no, I'm not doing that. Yeah. So yeah, so that's my journey this time. It was literally my partner saying that to me that made me think and go, do you know what, I am not going to eat anymore. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations, well done. So happy. What motivates me the most to keep me on track for all these years, it's after a point it becomes routine and habit. It really does. And I know I say it a lot, but when I did Slimming World, I cut everything out. I think I had one takeaway the whole of my journey, and that was I sinned it. I had a lamb Rogan Josh and I sinned it. So I had one takeaway in 8 months. I had no crisps, no sweets, no anything. Sorry, my partner's just gone and said, answer the questions. I'm getting soldier. I'm terrible at getting sidetracked. Thank you. So that was my 8 months of losing weight. And then after that, I switched to WW, Weight Watchers. And I then introduced those foods that I'd cut out. Now I now know that I don't need to binge eat those foods. I can have a little bit, I can have a small portion, I can have a small portion of chocolate, I can have a packet of crisps. I don't need to eat 5-6 bags of crisps. I don't need to have half a pack of chocolates. I don't need to do that. I can have a small amount and I don't need to do it because I cut them out for 8 months. And it was extreme and it's not going to suit everybody, but I needed to do that. I do have a food addiction to a certain extent, and I did, and I needed to cut that out to be able to do it. So when it comes to motivation, it's literally my routine and habits that keep me on track. I didn't exercise when I was losing, and I know somebody has asked that question. When I was losing weight, I didn't exercise at all. We occasionally went for a walk. If we went to town, I could walk for longer periods as I lost the weight, but I didn't get to go, and I didn't join the gym until I got to go. I then joined the gym, started working out a little bit, hurt my knee, and then I started daily swimming. When lockdown came in, I then started. Hopefully one day. It is difficult, and I did it for 8 months, and there are still times where I will binge eat, but weirdly I binge eat on stuff that I don't really want. It's really strange. Oh, when you're plateauing. Oh, it's a nightmare when you're plateauing. So at the moment, anyway, let me just finish my question. When I yeah, so it is routine and habit. If I have a day off plan, I feel like rubbish, and then I'll get back on it the next day because I feel like rubbish and I don't want to do it again. And it just, my routine and habits kick in all the time. I will go, do I want that? Do I need it? No. And that's literally what runs around in my head all the time. I'll stand outside Greg's and go, do I want a bacon roll? No, I don't. I don't want it. I don't need it. I'm not hungry, and I'll walk away. And it's about trying to stop and think before you go and buy it. Weight Watchers coach isn't for me at all. They've just made a load redundant. Just made a huge amount of them redundant. So, and it's very time consuming. I work full time and it's very time consuming, and you need a lot of room apparently for all the snacks and stuff. So someone's asked about plateaus. Along the way, I've got quite a few plateaus, and I also have hormonal problems along the way as well. My GP decided, well, it wasn't his fault. I had to change my pill because they stopped making it, and he put me on another one, and he went, it's exactly the same, it's got the same ingredients in, it's absolutely fine. And that was when I had about 2-3 stone left to lose, so I was quite close to goal. I'd had a plateau previously, but I just kept on and carried on as I had. I tried other things. You can try everything to shift a plateau. You can change your meals up, you can try using your weeklies differently. I always do, have used them, so I just try using them differently. I try eating different foods, I try eating at different times. Nothing, I cannot tell you what shifts a plateau. I think your body just comes to a point where it goes, hang on a minute, you've lost this many stone, I need to catch up. And I think that's what your body does. It literally goes, right, I want to catch up now. So I'm going to stop and wait, and your body just needs to settle. I think that's literally all it is. Your body just needs time to settle, and then it will shift again. I've had a horrendous time the past sort of 4 weeks. See, it was 250, it was close to goal when I was getting there. So when I got to £250, it was really close to goal. So it was like, and it was, me getting to goal was like pulling teeth. It really was. It took me, because they changed plans. Sorry, I'm bouncing around everywhere. Yeah, you did the blue plan. I can't do the blue plan then. Can't do it. It's a nightmare for me. They changed to the blue plan. They changed to flex when I had like when I had a stone left to lose, and it was slow going. By that point, so someone's just asked, when I switched from Slimming World to Weight Watchers, and reintroduced the forbidden snacks, did I find it easier to stick to plan knowing I could have them? And yeah, definitely. It made a difference. That first week I had a McDonald's breakfast, and McDonald's breakfast is my Achilles heel. I will literally have one twice a week. If I've got the points for it, I will have one twice a week. And when I switched plans, it was like a revelation. I was like, oh my God, I can have whatever I want. I can have a McDonald's breakfast. I can have a packet of crisps. I can have a chocolate bar. And it was actually, yeah, it was easier to stick to because I could have those things. It was a lot easier to stick to. So it was, right, I can literally eat what I want. And bear in mind, I did have an awful lot of points still. When I switched over, I had 42 weeklies and I had 56 dailies. So I had an awful lot of points to use, and it made a huge difference. And it also made a huge difference along the way, losing those points as well, because it taught me to make those swaps. So having more to lose when I started WW, it actually helped, because I could eat that. Like I would start off and I would still have 4 slices of bread because I had the points to have 4 slices of bread. Then as I lost those points, it was like, well, maybe if I could have 3 slices of bread, or shall I just have 2? That's fine. And as I lost, I learned to swap those things out, which is why I eat the way I eat now, which is, if you look at my what I eat in a day video, I do swap a lot of stuff out. I don't tend to go for potatoes because they've got points in. So I will have mashed swede, or I will have a lot more veg, because it's about swapping those things out. So it is difficult, and when you first start, it really is difficult, and it's just getting the hang of it, and finding out what foods you actually like is a big thing as well, because I don't know about anybody else, but I found a lot of the foods that I would eat on a normal occasion, I didn't actually like that much. I won't spend points on them. There's no way I'd spend points on, I thought I loved pork pie. I thought I absolutely love pork pie. It's my favourite thing ever. But I won't spend points on a pork pie now. And even when I've had days off, I will have one, and it's actually not that it's not got that thing. It's not what I thought it was. I think it was because I didn't actually taste my food properly. I was just eating for the sake of eating it. And I think now I actually spend time savouring my food and taking my time eating it, and that makes a huge difference. Do I get anxiety when going out to eat on short notice? My partner's pretty good. And he will stick to certain restaurants that I like, but so it's not too bad. But if I do find that I go somewhere where I'm not too sure, I'll have a good look at the menu, and most places are pretty good at swapping stuff out. So I do get really anxious if it's a new place that I'm not sure of, and it's sort of an independent one, but not normally. Normally, my partner will go, where should we go? And I'll go, right, do you want to go Nando's? Do you want to go here? Do you want to go to Wetherspoons? And all of those are in the app, which is really good. So as long as they're in the app, I'm absolutely fine. And normally I can sort of have a look at the app and swap stuff out. It's when I go somewhere and I haven't got many points, that's when I start to panic a little bit. But it's very rare that happens. Do I enjoy cooking? Not really. Not very good at it, which is why I have like ready meals and stuff. I am quite boring with my food. I do like certain bits and pieces, but I'm not a huge fan. Did I have any health problems at my heaviest? I did have high blood pressure, but that went straight away. Have I ever had a mental block and been able to stick to plan after a milestone loss? Weirdly, no. My problem, my sticking point tends to be when I've hit a plateau. And what it's been is if I go and get weighed and it doesn't say what I want it to say, my automatic thought, and because I got weighed on a Monday, used to get weighed on a Monday morning, my automatic thought was, I'm going to McDonald's, going to go and get a breakfast. That was straight in my head, straight away. And then it'd be, no, you don't need to get a McDonald's. That's not going to make those scales do what you want them to do. That's going to make them go up. It's not going to make them go down. I've stuck to plan. As long as I've stuck to plan and I've been honest, and those scales I don't move, then I know that it's not me. There's something going on. It's not something that I've done to cause that. And if it's something that I've done to cause it, so if I've had a day off plan, then it is my fault. And I know that, and that doesn't affect the way that I then eat for the rest of the week, because I know that I've been off plan and I know that I've eaten, and I expect to gain on the scales. And I've said before, I actually like to be punished. If I've had a day off plan, I prefer to have a weight gain, because when I have a weight gain, it makes me think the next time, do I want to do this because I'm going to have a weight gain? If that makes any sense. It's a bit strange, but it's the way that I like, it's the way I rationalise it. And next time I'll go, well, do I really want to have like a £5 gain from having a day off plan? And I'll think, no, actually I don't. Or, well, yeah, I don't mind. I'll take it on the chin and I'll have a day off. That's what I like to weigh up in my head. Do I weigh weekly or monthly? I weigh weekly. I am just a tiny bit under my goal now. I've been struggling the past good few weeks. Because I had a huge hormonal gain about 4 or 5 weeks ago now. I gained £6 for no reason. And when I gained that £6, it was I then lost a little tiny bit, but then I gained again. So I am actually over goal. So I'm still losing. And my goal weight is 13 stone. My GP set my goal weight for me, and W had to give me a letter to get my GP to sign to say what my goal weight was going to be. He was perfectly fine. I think I could have gone to him at 15 stone and he would have signed me off. When I first went to see him, I didn't go to my GP very often, weirdly. I didn't have a huge amount of health problems. When I was losing, so it didn't really matter. And when I went to see him, he hadn't seen me, and I must have lost about 10, 11 stone. And he just sat there staring at me for about 5 minutes. He was just stunned. He just sat there going... But he would have signed me off at about 15 stone if I'd asked him to, but I didn't. I waited till I was around 13, although I personally thought I'd get to around 14 stone and that would be it. Never ever thought I'd get to 13. I like to personally sit around 12 stone. My body likes to sit around 12.7 because it just does. That's where it's comfortable, and I do tend to struggle to get under that. So even though I say I'm maintaining, I'm always just trying to get under. So I've never switched to maintenance because of that. But then saying that, when I got to goal on the flex, which was the blue plan, and I had to switch to the no count plan, which is similar to purple at that point, because I literally couldn't do blue anymore. It was heading towards me having a really unhealthy relationship with food, the blue plan, and I didn't like it. It was because I wasn't losing well, it was making me think it was what I was eating. So I was picking and choosing different things. I was actively thinking, shall I not use my weeklies? But then I wasn't having a huge amount of 0 pointed foods. So my relationship with food went a little bit wonky when I was doing the blue plan, which is why I switched to no count, because it was potatoes, rice, pasta, porridge was 0 pointed. I could have milk that was 0 pointed. So I needed that change to be able to have that. And then when the green plan came in, again, it was like, yes, it's the plan that I lost most weight. I lost around 9.5 stone with that, with the old Smart Points, which is the green plan. And it just gives me a more rounded approach to the foods that I eat. I can pick and choose what I want, but I still know that I'm having a decent amount of food and I'm still having my treats. It's the green plan. Purple, I wouldn't do the purple plan. If I was going to do anything like that, I'd do the old no count, because I can have it's when the 3 new plans came out, I was sure I was going to go for purple, but when I saw that there was no different meat on there to what there was on the blue plan, so I thought they'd had like beef, lean pork, but they didn't, and that's the kind of thing that I like. I'm not a huge potato fan, so dropping down from 30 to 16 points, there's no way I'd use 14 points on carbs. Just wouldn't happen. So I wouldn't do the purple plan. Blue plan really doesn't suit me, so it's the green plan for me. And I like the fact that there are very few 0 pointed foods. So literally I have to point everything. I weigh literally all of my food. So when it comes to that, yeah, I literally weigh everything. So the green plan suits me better. So anyway, I think I answered that person's question about, sorry, going back to the first question, about losing weight before and the way I did it this time. So I have answered that one. Have I missed any questions? So with a wealth of experience, if you were, I'm not that experienced, if you would give one piece of advice about someone's diet, what would it be? Yeah, a lot of people, I know an awful lot of people that left WW when they brought in the flex plan, because they just couldn't, even though you only lose 7 smart points a day, that's a lot of points when you don't eat a lot of the 0 pointed foods. I mean, I was going to do a chickpea curry. Now I will do a chickpea curry, but I messaged my friend the other day and I went, how the hell is a can of chickpeas 7 smart points once you've drained the water off? So that's an awful lot of points, and I'd have that in one of them cakes. It's like you'd use like 1-2 of them in one of those cakes, and like I was like, that's 7 smart points. It's an awful lot. So yeah, you're substituting with the blue plan. You're substituting a lot of the 0. You're losing 7 points, and you can have chickpeas, you can have chicken, but it's foods that I wouldn't normally go to. Eggs, I will have 2 a week, if that, unless I'm going for a thingy phase of eggs. Chicken breast, I do eat an awful lot of anyway, because it is lowering points on the green plan, and that's fine. But then chickpeas, I'm not a huge chickpea person. I will literally have it in a curry occasionally. So, and the same with beans and stuff. Hello. So things like that I wouldn't normally have. That's what I would, they're not my go-to. So losing 7 points a day was a huge difference to me. So it really is green all the way when it comes to plans. I don't manage to lose every week. Someone's put, how do you manage to lose every week? I really don't. I've lost 2 weeks in a row now, and I have no idea. If you look at what I eat in a day, hello from Michigan. If you look at what I eat in a day, I tend to eat similar stuff. It just tends to be my snacks and things that I tend to change up. But I've always stuck to my points, and there are weeks where I will gain for no reason. There are weeks where it will literally stay the same for ages, and it doesn't shift. When I first started losing, obviously I had an awful lot of weight to lose. I lost over 18 stone. Lost a lot very quickly. When I did Slimming World for 8 months, I lost 7 stone 6 on Slimming World. So it's about 100 and, is it about 110, 100? I can't remember. But I've lost 7 stone 6 on Slimming World, and that fell off. It literally fell off. When I switched to WW, it slowed a little bit, but then I introduced a lot of foods back, and I was eating different foods, but then I would have expected that. I did lose £7 the first week, and I did lose like £2 a week, which was fine with me, absolutely fine, until I started hitting my plateaus. And I didn't hit my plateaus until I got into my 2nd year, and then it was literally, I'd hit a plateau for 3 months, then it'd be all right. Then I'd hit a plateau again, and then it would be all right. When my GP changed my pill over, it was a nightmare. I did start talking about that. Sorry, I got sidetracked. My GP changed my pill to one that was apparently very similar. It wasn't. It was horrendous. I bloated. I think I put on a stone in one weighing. it was horrendous, and you could see the bloat on me. It was awful, and I kept going to see him, and he was like, no, no. So in the end, I went and got it sorted. I just went and got it, had the coil fitted, and I still get it, but not as bad. I think a lot of it is my age. I'm getting on a bit now, so I'm getting on a bit. Why did I switch from Slimming World to Weight Watchers? When I did Slimming World, I chose and I made the conscious decision that I was going to cut out all rubbish. Now, I know that you can have treats on Slimming World. I know full well you can, but I used my sins on cheese and mayonnaise. That was my choice, and that was what I chose to use them on. Occasionally a little other bits and pieces, but mostly that's what I chose to use my points on. And God, what was I saying? Sorry, I've forgotten the question. See, there's something wrong with me at the moment. Yeah, so when I switched over, when I was looking, I was getting a bit bored. My meals on Slimming World were very samey. I'd have a load of pasta, I'd have pork chops a lot. Love it, but it was very, very samey. And I actually Googled what's the difference between WW and Slimming World, and a forum popped up, and someone had put on there, you can have bread, you can have white bread. And I was like, oh my God, I can have white bread. Because I used to use my healthy extras on porridge in the morning. I would eat breakfast then. When I did Slimming World, I had 3 meals a day, and I just made sure I was full. So I ate very differently then than I do now, because I've now found that I'm not actually hungry first thing in the morning. So I eat and then I get hungry. It makes me hungry. It's really strange. And then I eat more during the day. So I start eating when I feel hungry. So I do a little bit of intermittent fasting, if I'm honest. So yeah, so that's why I switched over, because I can have white bread. And it was like first week I did, it was like I had a McDonald's breakfast, I could have a packet of crisps, I could have a chocolate bar, and I could eat it, and you could point it, and it was fine, and it was great. And I lost 6 or 7 pounds that first week, and I was like, well, I've been doing Slimming World for ages. Yeah, portion control is so much easier, and if you want, you can literally have whatever you want. That's the good thing about Weight Watchers. If you want your cream egg, you can have your cream egg. It's 9 points. Today I've had a KFC. KFC got my order wrong, but I had a KFC. They charged me for what they gave me, but I asked for 2 fillet tower burgers and meals, and they gave me 1 fillet tower burger meal and 1 fillet meal. And my partner, this is how nice he is. He went, I'll have the fillet meal and you have the tower one. And I went, no. Save me some points. Save me 5 points if you have the tower, and I'll have the little one. So it shows you what I've taught him over the years. I'll have the big portion, you have the little portion. That's what I've taught him. But hang on, so do I expect to use the WW app for the rest of my life? Someone's asked me that question, actually. They've asked me about calorie counting. I tried calorie counting about 4 or 5 weeks ago now. And I did it for a day. I got the NutriCheck app, and I did it for a day. Even though I use MyFitnessPal to track my weight on the old tracker, I thought, oh, NutriCheck's a lot better. Oh, he's a keeper. He's lovely. And I thought, right, what I'll do is I'll get the NutriCheck app, and I will point along with tracking. It's the first time I've done it I've seen people do it for years, and it's not for me. I either do Weight Watchers or I'm doing calorie counting. I'm not doing both. I ain't got time to waste doing both. So I thought, right, what I'll do is I will calorie count. Let's give it a whirl. Oh my God, it was mind-numbingly boring. Tracking an apple. On the Weight Watchers app, I am a bit naughty, I will admit. And so that is my today's thing. Any 0 point, I've had mango earlier, and I've had an apple, and I've not tracked it. I don't track 0 pointed foods. It's not for me. I don't do it. It's not something that I do. If it's 0 pointed and I know it's 0 pointed, I don't track it. So when I was doing the calorie counting, oh my God, I was weighing everything. I was weighing broccoli, and I just thought, do you know what? I can't do this. I can't calorie count. And the worst of it was I used 30 points that day. And bearing in mind, I put my watch on there, so it had got my Apple Watch, so it done my yoga that I do in the morning. It put that on, and it put all my steps on, which weren't very much. I don't get many steps in a day, and it put all that on, and actually I'd gone way over my calories for the day, and that week I think I lost about 4 or 5 pounds. For me, WW is easier. I know what I'm doing. A couple of people at work have started WW and they were talking about it, and I went, it's a total waste of time. Tracking 0 pointed foods is a waste of time. I've seen people's app and they've got like apples on there, and I'm like, why have you wasted your time putting an apple in? You know it's 0 smart points, unless you're doing it like written and you want to go back to it. But then I'm sure they clear the app. It only lasts for so many months anyway. So to me, it doesn't make any sense. And so calorie counting really isn't for me. I like, I was like, what? I can't do it. I can't waste my time doing it. So I did try and I did give it my damnedest, but I went way over my thingies. And that week I still lost weight. And I thought, hang on a minute, that's a day that I only used 30 points. And I know some people have calorie counted along with WW and they have a lot less calories. But for some weird reason, I'd use loads. I don't know what, it's just the foods that I choose to eat probably. I eat more, but I tend to, more calorie-wise, I don't know, I have no idea how it works. Like I said, I tried it and it's just, for me, it's easier to do WW. Yeah, it's red meat. I thought the purple plan for me would be the one for me. I really did. When it changed over, it didn't. The green plan, because I'd lost all my weight on smart points, it didn't even occur to me to do that. I was like, oh no, I'm doing purple. I'm doing the purple. And then I was like, do you know what? No. When I did no count, I could have pork, I can have beef, I can have those 0 pointed foods, similar to Slimming World, but I can have crumpets as well, they were 0 pointed. And you can have bread that was 0 pointed, wholemeal bread, and milk. So that was all 0 pointed, and you still got your weeklies. But with the purple plan, you've literally not, and I could use my points on it, but yeah, it's really, really, yeah, purple's not, it's just losing all those points for carbs, which isn't for me. So, have I missed any? Would you say the food you eat in a week is healthy food? I'm on week 2 only, but find I'm always wanting to use my points up on rubbish food. It depends how you look at it. To me, some of my foods aren't the best choice. I don't always make the best choices on food-wise, and I did and ah when I first started doing my daily food and putting it on, because a few people have asked along the way what I eat in a day. I had somebody that I used to work with that went, you've lost loads of weight, how did you do it? What do you eat? I want your meal plan. And I was like, right, I can't tell you what I eat. I said, I can tell you what I eat. And I said, you could eat it. I said, but you'd probably last 2 or 3 days eating the foods that I eat, because that's the foods that I eat and the foods that I like. For me, as long as I have 2 meals a day, and I mean, that can be like a 4-pointed meal, that can be chicken and salad, but as long as I've had 2 reasonable meals a day, and I know that, and I've eaten and I've drunk 2 litres of water, so my habits and routines are literally, I think someone's asked me a question around habits and routines. Sorry if I haven't answered your questions. I'm getting really sidetracked. I told you. I'm going to have to do another one. If you want me to do another one in the week, let me know. I'm thinking sort of, I knew I was probably going to go over on this. So if you want me to do another one Wednesday, around 7 o'clock-ish, I can do. Or I will answer the questions on a separate video without people asking me. Yeah, no, I can do Wednesday around 7 o'clock. I will schedule that in, because I did intend to answer questions, but people are asking me stuff, and I tell you, shiny things catch me, and yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. I can do another one. It's absolutely fine. So yeah, I forgot what I was asking. Sorry, I'm just reading it. Oh, points on rubbish food. Yeah, so my food isn't always the best. It isn't, and as long as I stick within my points, I don't care. To me, as long as I'm full, so I will make sure, like I've said before, my day consists of I will tend not to have breakfast. I'll tend to have a milky drink. I will have lunch. Yeah, people get really bored of me really quickly. I'll tend to have lunch, and one of my meals will tend to be the thing that I've been thinking about all day. So I don't plan my meals because I change my mind too much. I really do change my mind. Exactly. It's to me, because when I follow an awful lot of people on Instagram that follow, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked again. It's one of the things. I follow an awful lot of people on Instagram that follow calorie counting, that follow Slimming World, that follow WW, all the plans, and it is literally what suits you. When I first started, Slimming World suited me because I could have like loads of food, and I mean loads of food. My pasta portion was the same as when I was bigger, but I could eat it and I still lost weight doing it. So that was good for me. But then WW Smart Points came in, and that is good. That's the green plan, and that was fine. Switch to the blue. I now know that I can't do blue. It doesn't suit me. I switched to no count, and I love no count, which is similar to purple. And I absolutely love no count. And purple would suit me if I could have the red meats and stuff, but I can't. And also milk. Not having milk really upset me. I was like, you mean I can't have milk? Milk isn't 0 pointed. So, because when I did no count, I would go to Costa and have brown toast and a drink, milky coffee, and that would be 0 point. That would be 0. That was free on no count. I could have that, and it was absolutely fine. Just had to point my scraping of butter, or I'd take my own jam or something, and that was 0 pointed, and it was like, oh, I can have that, and I feel like I've had a treat and I've had a proper meal. So yeah, anyway, eating rubbish, that was what someone was saying. So where I'm concerned, as long as I start having a milky drink, then I will have my lunch, and it tends to be the thing that I've been thinking about all day. I will have something in my head in the morning, and I'll go, that's what I'm going to eat for lunch. That's what I fancy, and that's what I'm going to eat. And it tends to be something. I will choose something that I really want and that I really fancy. And if that's a little bit higher in points, that's fine, because I will go higher in points to feel satisfied. To me, I want a meal that's going to satisfy me. So if I go in my fridge and I want half a pizza for my tea with chips, I know it's probably going to be about 16, 17 points, but I know that's going to fill me up, and I'm actually going to be satisfied by it. It's about making my brain flick to, right, you've had that and you wanted it and you've really enjoyed it. Yeah, meal planning, when you start a weight loss plan, I find a lot of people will go automatically. Yeah, love jam. Yeah, I'll take it in a little pot, take my little jam in my little pot, put it in my bag. I was really upset when they don't have the bloody, I've taken it before and they haven't had any toast. That's really upset me. So when I have a meal, I want to feel satisfied, and I want to feel like I've had something that I really want. So sometimes I will spend a lot of points on that meal, but then that gives me points to use on some treats, and it also gives me, I can have low pointed meals all day. I can have 0 pointed soup. I could have, but that would mean me making it, and I'm not over enthusiastic about cooking all the time. So, I mean, when I'm cooking for my partner, we tend to have different meals. Yeah. I know who you are, Lynn. Stewed plums are good. Almond milk is lovely. I mean, someone asked me the other day about what milk do I choose? Why do I choose the milks? How do I choose the milk? It does teach you to eat. Weight Watchers is brilliant for that. It does. I've seen people, obviously, because we're in March now, when New Year came in, a lot of people on Instagram and stuff started, love you too, Lynn, started diets. And they were diets, and I was thinking, why are you eating that? You can eat what you want. And when people tend to start a weight loss plan, they will automatically go, right, I can't have that, I can't have that, I can't have that. And I know that's what I did, but they purposefully go, right, I'll have Ryvita. Ryvita's fine. And I do like a bit of Ryvita at times, but they will literally stop eating those foods that they want and they'll start eating other stuff and then wonder why 2 to 3 weeks down the line they've had a binge or they're eating rubbish because they're not having the stuff that the foods that they want to eat. And that to me is important. It's really important for me to be able to eat the foods that I really want to eat. So that's the good thing about WW. Someone's asked about, do I use WW products? When I go into class, because someone's asked if I miss in-class weigh-ins and classes, when I started WW, I started it and I did classes and online. I've always done classes and online, but I literally go and get weighed. My class was on a Monday morning. And when I used to go and get weighed on a Monday, I would leave because I was at work. So it's literally, I'd go and get weighed. The only times that I'd stay was if it was a massive milestone and I would just take my lunch break and just not have a lunch later on. Or if I was on annual leave, that's all I'd stay. So I don't really miss weigh-ins and meetings. I didn't really do them. So, and I think that stems from when I never attended Slimming World groups. So I can't attend Slimming World groups. And so yeah, I can't be going around that circle saying why you've lost weight, because there are times when I gain for no reason and there's times a lot of us gain for no reason, and it's the accusing looks you get. I actually got weighed in WW once by one of the helpers and I'd gained £5 that week, and it was a real shock to me that I'd gained that much weight. And I hadn't done anything. I will readily admit, and I will put my hand up and say, if I've had a bad day, if I've eaten, I will readily admit that. And when I got weighed by a helper, she looked at me and went, "What have you done?" And I was like, "I haven't done anything." And she just looked me up and down. And I was absolutely mortified. I was like, "Oh my," I didn't go back for 3 weeks. It was awful. But yeah, so I can't do Slimming World groups. So for the 8 months, I couldn't even weigh myself. I couldn't weigh myself on my scales till I got to around 27, 28 stone. So literally, yeah, it was awful. Yeah, the circle of shame. I really can't do Slimming World groups. I can't. For that, it's awful. So yeah, so I will readily go and get weighed. I will, but I don't tend to stay to class because I like to get weighed in the morning. I weigh a lot lighter in the morning than I do. And what I'd end up doing, which is exactly what I did for every other slimming group that I did, which is why I choose morning weigh-ins, is I purposely won't eat on, and I hardly drink anything all day if I'm weighing in the evening, which is a terrible thing to do. So yeah, I don't really miss class at all. Really don't. My coach has gone as well. All my coaches leave. Someone said all your coaches leave. Yeah, they do. My first coach is still going actually, but I went to swap to a different one. Yeah, I find an awful lot of people don't like Slimming World meetings. But then other people get a lot from them. It's all very individual. It's like the plans. It's individual and it's what people like. And as when I walked into the first meeting at Slimming World and I literally got the books, and when I can't stay, I've got to go, because I just can't, I couldn't sit at the size I was. I literally was so ashamed and I just couldn't sit in that room. I really couldn't. So, yeah. Have I missed any questions? Yeah, I literally, if I get weighed at night in the evening, I don't eat all day. It's terrible. It's really naughty. Sorry, I'm reading some of the comments. So somebody's put, are there certain go-to foods you binge on the occasions when you come off plan? I'll go back to some of these unless another question pops up. So sorry if I've missed your question. Yes, starve all day. Um, did I ever consider weight loss surgery? Yeah, yeah, I did. So, yes, some are. Yeah, some of our slimming clubs are a little bit martyry doors. I don't know if anyone ever used to go to weight care. Did anyone ever go to weight care? Has anyone ever done that? Does anyone remember that? Or was it just like, because I used to live in Lincolnshire and we had this thing called weight care. Yeah. Yeah, someone's put they had it done and it didn't work. Yeah, if you don't go to class, you can weigh in the nud. That's true. Lost 4 stone prior to lockdown, gained 2 back, started back on blue 3 weeks ago, and the weight isn't budging. Tracking anything, any suggestions? Let's try a different plan. If blue doesn't work for you, because blue doesn't work for me, when I first switched over, it's so easy to gain the weight back. It really is so easy to gain that weight back. See, I don't remember Super Slim. I remember Weight Care. Weight Care was just another slimming group. I don't know if it was like in certain areas. I'm sure I've Googled it since my mum used to drag me there. She used to like it. And it was like, it was awful. It was really awful. What else was there? What other slimming group? Rosemary Conley. I've done Rosemary Conley. Anyone remember Rosemary Conley's? Is that still going? Anyway, what are there certain go-to foods you binge on the occasions when you come off plan? If I have a planned day off, I tend to have pizza. I'm really odd. I tend to have pizza. Jenny Craig, no, see, we don't get that over here. Sorry, someone asked about the blue plan, didn't they? They've been on it for 3 weeks. Blue plan for me, when it first switched over, with the blue plan used to be flex. So when I switched over from green plan, sorry, I'm getting my thing. When it first switched over, I went over to the blue plan, obviously, went over to flex. Yeah, everyone. Yeah, loads of people have done Rosemary Conley. Okay, see you later, Lynn. Thank you. But yeah, so when Blue Plan came in, which is the flex plan, I didn't lose for 2 weeks and I didn't use my weeklies as well. Yeah, I was a kid when I did Rosemary Conley. I've always been really big, so I was a kid when I did Rosemary Conley. Yeah, I think I did the exercise bit as well in Rosemary Conley. I'm sure I stayed and did some of that. But yeah, if the blue plan isn't working, what I did was the first 2 weeks on blue plan, I didn't use any of my weeklies. And then the 3rd week on the blue plan, I lost my weeklies and lost about £4. So you could try using your weeklies. If that doesn't work, try either trying purple or trying the green plan. Just mix them up a little bit and see which one works for you, because not every plan is going to suit everybody. I think I have a slight intolerance to legumes myself. I think that doesn't help. So my go-to binge foods on the occasion when I come off plan are yes, I see. Weight Watchers wasn't one. I have done it before a couple of times, but like for a couple of weeks. It was always Slimming World, and everyone at work seems to do Slimming World as well. Oh, what you had from Nando's? Anyway, getting sidetracked. Yeah. Are there certain go-to foods you binge on the occasions when you come off plan? If you do you incorporate them in my calories so I don't become forbidden foods? If I come off plan, if I have a day off plan, I have a day off plan. I literally have a day off plan. So if I have a day off plan, I literally, that's it. All bets are off. I don't bother pointing. If I have a day off plan, binge foods tend to be chocolate crisps, sweets, peanuts occasionally. But it's foods that I would eat anyway on WW. It's just I will eat more of them. That's my problem. Someone's just thanked me for the Monarch crisps. I couldn't believe it when I tried those Monarch, the cheese crisps, basically. I think I've got them here. I've got like 2 packets left. These are Monarch's cheese crisps, and I won them in an Instagram giveaway. And they are absolutely lovely. They are a little bit expensive, I will admit, but they are really, really, really nice. But yes, someone's just thanked me for them. You can have them in soups, you can have them on salads, they're lovely. Butterfly, corn on the cob, broccoli, 5 points. It's brilliant, isn't it? I do like a bit of Nando's. Just received your raw desserts. I've got one left. I'm having it tonight. That's my treat for today. Although I did have a KFC earlier, so I'm having another treat. Safely come off any weight loss program. Do you think you have to make the mental shift to safely come off a weight loss program? I will always be doing Weight Watchers. So someone's asked about do you think you have to make the mental shift to safely come off any weight loss program? This is how I'm going to be eating now. I'm always going to be doing WW. So it is a lifestyle change. It definitely is. When it comes to WW, it's a lifestyle change for me, and it always has been. Right from the beginning, when I first started it, I made sure I always used all of my weeklies, all of my dailies, and I always have all the way through, because I can eat those foods that I really want to eat. So yeah, it is definitely a lifestyle change, and calorie counting wouldn't do it for me. What's the best thing about losing the weight I have? My whole life has totally changed. I've always been a big girl. I was always a big girl. Even when I was a kid, I was a big girl. I can't even show you because it's on my phone and I'm recording on that. I've got pictures where I've always been overweight. And when it comes to foods, when it comes to losing weight, everything's changed. When I was a kid, when I was 14, I couldn't go into normal shops. I was like heading towards a size 16 to 18. So going into River Island was a no-no. Nothing fitted me. Nothing looked nice. That was when I was a kid. Is my weight inherited in my family genes? My mum's not hugely. My mum was overweight, but my mum's not hugely overweight. She has lost 2 stone recently. She's got a little bit more to lose, but my mum wasn't. My mum was a little bit overweight. My dad is skinny. One of the questions that someone had asked is whether what was my childhood like, and has it contributed to my weight loss? My dad had a stroke when I was 7. He was 30. My dad's a rake. Thank you. I used to get called rubber lips at school. So my dad had a stroke when I was 7. So he was in and out of hospital for a number of years, and which you would have thought would scare me, because he wasn't even overweight, and he had quite a bad stroke, and I was huge. I have been so lucky that I haven't had a stroke or a heart attack. I really have been really lucky in that respect. So with my dad going in and out of hospital, I did used to live next door to my nan and granddad, and I used to go everywhere with them. Really, my nan and granddad used to have a caravan in Norfolk, so we lived in Lincolnshire, and they used to have a caravan at Hunstanton, so they used to go there every weekend. So I used to go with them, and I used to get really spoiled. I was an only child anyway. My mum had another child later on, but I was 20 then. So I've been an only child for like 20 years. So I was quite reasonably spoiled at home. And my dad's fine now. He still had his stroke, but he is fine. But yeah, so I got spoiled by my nan and granddad a lot. And my granddad got a thing about Mars bars. So if I have Mars bars, I always think of my granddad. So I was spoiled quite a lot. But then I was always overweight. Keep a lot of sorry, hang on, let me just finish my train of thought, because I'll get totally sidetracked. So yeah, I spent an awful lot of time with my nan and granddad. So my childhood wasn't a bad childhood. It was just I was quite spoiled. I was a bigger girl anyway, even when I was younger. So even before my dad had his stroke, I was still a bigger girl. So it's yeah. So I've just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and obviously being bigger affected my mood, so I would eat more. So I never got out of that cycle. So I just continued that cycle for years and years and years until I got to 6 years ago when I was like, right, I'm going to start a weight loss program. And my partner just went to me, do you know what? We need to have a discussion. You need to take, if you eat, it's on you. You've chosen to put that food in your mouth, and that's your responsibility. And that was the light bulb moment to me. Yeah, it is my responsibility. I've always used food for comfort, and it is my responsibility. It's literally my responsibility. Anything that I choose to eat, I choose to eat. And the reason that I think it's stuck this time, and the reason that I've lost so much weight, is because I'm really stubborn. I am really stubborn. And before, when people used to say, you really should lose some weight, you really should lose some weight, I was stubborn in the fact that I go, no, I'm not. I'm not going to do it because you're telling me to do it. And this time I flicked it round and went, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for me. And nobody is going to upset me to the point that I'm going to eat. So if I did get along my journey, obviously, if I had bad days or somebody upset me or I'd had an argument or anything, I flick it now and I go, you're not going to make me eat. I'm not going to eat because you've upset me, because you would be happy if you knew that you'd upset me and made me eat. If you get out, it makes any sense. So I'm quite stubborn and I flick it round, because before it was like, oh, well, I'm upset, I'm going to eat. And it's, oh, that's that person's fault. And now I go, do you know what? You'd be happy if you knew I was eating, so I'm not going to eat. I'm going to stick to my plan. I'm going to have my dinner. I'm going to have my snacks. I'm going to point it. And that's it with me. So someone's asked how I met my partner. I met my partner online, ICQ. Don't know if anyone knows it. Chat network about 20 years ago. Someone's asked if when I go off plan, do I properly come off the wagon and get run over, or do I have a fair amount of control? It very much varies with me. I am all or nothing kind of on plan or off plan. So if I go off plan, I will try, and I'm still trying to pull it back a little bit, but I do tend to go a little bit too far sometimes. And I know I go a little bit too far sometimes when I go off plan. There's been points where I can't physically fit any more food in, and I'm still trying. And I still do that now. I'll already admit I still do that now, but I'm trying not to. And that's the thing. This is a weight loss journey, and it's going to take a while. So it will take a while. It'll take an awful long time, and it's always evolving the way that I think. So a couple of years ago, I got to goal 3 years ago, and I went through a period where I was binge eating, and I had to reassess. I had to step back and totally reassess the way that, why I was doing that again, why I'd started to binge eat again, and try and put a stop to it and put stuff in place to stop me doing that. So me having the food in is fine and I won't touch it, but then I was going through binge eating. So it's like, why am I doing what I'm doing? What's the triggers? And I need to put a stop to those triggers. And it is about evolving, and it's about thinking yourself why you do the things that you do, and why you're choosing to eat those things, and why you can't stop doing it, basically. Someone's asked, do people treat me differently since I lost the weight? Yes, I do think there is a lot of prejudice around being hugely overweight, but I think a lot of it is in my head as well. I will say a lot of stuff I put on myself. So I think that people look at, and they were, I mean, I was a big girl. I was like size 34 to 36. I was a big girl. So a lot of it was my insecurities and what was going through my head. So, but I think some people do treat you differently. But it's a difficult one. It really is a difficult one, but I'd have to think about that one a little bit more. But yeah, I think a lot of it was my own. It's from internally. It's the way that I think. And because I am quite shy, I am quite introvert, so doing YouTube is a massive thing for me. So I am quite shy and introvert normally. So uh, yeah, it's a difficult one because I was overweight when I started this job that I'm in now. Someone asked what I do for a living. I work for the NHS. I go into care homes. I'm a support worker. I'm a support time recovery worker. Um, uh, and we go into care homes. I go in with CPNs and we work with people with dementia that have got behaviours that challenge. So I started that job when I was quite big. So I go into very much the same homes that I go into now that I did then, and I still see the same staff. And I don't know if they treat me any differently. It's strange because it's very specific what I do, so it's hard to say whether people would treat me differently if I was bigger. If you get what I mean, it's a really hard one to answer. Yeah, people do have more time for you when you're a healthier weight. When you're lowering weight, I think people tend to. It is really strange. Yeah, people. Yeah, it is really hard. It's a hard one, and I think people do treat you differently when even someone's put they've lost 6 stone, which is absolutely amazing, but people do treat you very differently. I haven't watched. Someone's put about YouTubers. I don't watch an awful lot of weight loss YouTube because I will end up trying to sort of going, oh, is that what people want? And I want to do me, if you get what I mean. So I follow an awful lot of people on Instagram, which obviously is very different. And I'll watch the odd video on YouTube, but I don't tend to follow an awful lot of weight loss ones because I don't want to start copying. And I think you sort of fall into that thing. I want to do what I feel will help people and what I feel would have helped me along the way. And a lot of it is it's a big weight loss that I've done, and I want to show people that you don't have to cut the foods out that you love, and you don't have to starve yourself, and you don't have to have diet food, and you can turn it into a lifestyle. And it is all about routine and habit, which is why I post my daily food. And it's yeah. So do I still see myself as a big girl? First time I lost a lot of weight 20 years ago and slim in my head. I still see myself as a lot bigger than I am. It's been 3 years now that I've been this kind of weight, and I still see myself as a lot bigger than I am. So sort of probably about 3 or 4 stone heavier than I am. And it's only when I see myself, I will literally walk past the windows in shops and see that I'm the size that I am and go, that's me. I went into a care home with a colleague the other day, and they had like a lot of mirrors up, and I'd walk past and I was like, I really look quite skinny today. I was thinking, that's not me. It's really odd. Treat you more respect when you find out about your weight loss journey. I think people have a lot of questions when they find out about my weight loss journey. And I think people have an awful lot of questions about it, how I've done it. And it is literally, all I can say is it's routine and habit. And I know I go on about it a lot, and I do bang on about it, but it really is. It's about doing it for long enough that it becomes routine and habit. So, someone said, if I can do, yeah, if I can do it, literally anyone can. Congratulations on getting to gold, Joanne. Congratulations. Do you feel... Sorry, I missed that question. Let me ask again. Oh, it's popped up. Can I ask you, do you feel like keeping a good store of snacks actually helps you? So do I feel that keeping a good store of snacks actually helps, even though usual advice is to get rid of the naughty stuff? Sorry, if I've missed any questions, please ask me again, because it does go quite quick, and I do get sidetracked quite quickly. I've got an awful lot of snacks. When I first started, I cleared out all my snacks for 8 months, and I literally went into shops, bought the stuff that I needed for Slimming World, and that was it. Um, Now I've got a lot of snacks. I am a huge snacker, and I love it. And as long as I buy individually wrapped stuff, if I buy stuff that's not individually wrapped. So if I have a huge chocolate bar, I know if I'm going to open that chocolate bar, the likelihood is that I'm going to eat the whole of that chocolate bar, because I can't divvy it up. And people will go, yeah, put it in the fridge. People will go stuff like that, or put it in the freezer. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. But I find it actually does help. If I've got it there, I'm a food hoarder. I've readily admitted that. When I was doing Slimming World, I didn't hoard the naughty stuff. I hoarded all the other stuff. But having naughty stuff in my house, I can literally walk past it all the time, and I'm absolutely fine walking past it. And it's there, but I know it's there. It's my safety net. It's my blanket, and it's probably not the healthiest way to think about it, but it is, and it's there if I need it. So yeah, I panic when you run out of jelly. I haven't made jelly for a few days because I've found those 10 cal ones. So, yeah, normally I'll get my next pot to put on the scales ready to make my jelly. So that, because I do weigh my water out just to make sure it's the right amount. Weigh water, that's how bad I am. Yeah, a lot of people can't keep snacks in the house, and that's the thing. So if you can't keep snacks in, that's an individual. So if everybody wants me to do one on Wednesday about 7 o'clock, I will schedule that in now. I'm going to do it on my laptop next time for a change. So if you want me to do one on Wednesday, I can. When it comes to the questions, a lot of people have asked me questions already on Instagram and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I will do a video answering the questions. So I will answer these questions because I'm going to get sidetracked by everybody else's questions. And if I've missed any questions today, please ask me again. If there's anything really, really pressing, I can answer like one question now, and then I'm going to have to go because I'm keeping you all on this Saturday night. So, but yeah, I will answer these. See you on Wednesday, everybody. Thank you. Right, see you later. Any questions, save them and I will answer them next time. Bye-bye.